Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your June 2022 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and also put a 4 agreements, Wisdom of the Oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. So let's see what we get. Alright, well, we have Leo. So, astrologically speaking, not really much going on there, but that is your 9th house, and that's the house that you guys naturally rule. So, yeah, could be a focus on philosophy, higher learning, foreign affairs, possibly travel as well. We have Uranus, and Uranus is actually in your 6th house of work, your daily routine, health, so there could be some changes there. And we have 11. So 11th house energy for you guys is actually Libra. And astrologically speaking, not much going on there either. But yeah, it could just be saying that you might have some focus on your friendships, groups, hopes, and wishes this month. Alright, so we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the 6 of Pentacles and the King of Cups. So we see Taurus energy here, Scorpio energy here, and challenging those, we have the Magician. So could just be saying that you guys might have been really stuck in your head on how to improve your financial situation, possibly work opportunities as well. So maybe you've been looking for work with that Uranus energy that we saw as well, because it's actually in these degrees of Taurus. So could just be one of those things, or maybe even looking for new job opportunities, possibly considering taking on a second source of income as well, possibly. And if that's the case, you might have been trying to tie it into something a bit more spiritual in nature. And this could also just be saying that possibly around the time of the Scorpio full moon eclipse, which basically at the time of recording this, we're more or less on that energy now. But given that this is a June reading, could just be saying that around that time, that could have been what caused the shift for you guys. But yeah, at the very least, I feel like this was saying that you felt like you were struggling for a while to get past that energy. Alright, in the foundation position, we have the Sun in reverse and the 2 of Wands in reverse. So seeing these 2 cards come up in reverse could just be saying that you felt like you didn't have much energy. So I feel like that could have been part of what was preventing you from having that fresh start, right? So you just might have felt low on energy. I wouldn't go as far as to say that you might have been going through depression, but possibly that could be the case for some of you. But yeah, I feel like at the very least this is just saying that you were feeling like you didn't have much energy to take on any new ventures. So possibly because you were just spending so much of your mental energy trying to figure out what next best steps to take. Alright, in the past position, we have the Page of Pentacles. So to me, this is saying that you might have felt like a financial goal you had was just out of reach, right? Because if we look at the artwork there, that pentacle is not quite fully in his hands. So you might have felt like you might have had some progress toward your goal, but you might have felt like you were just short of really feeling like you secured it. Alright, in the present position, we have the Death card. So this is Scorpio energy here, and a positive to seeing this come up, I feel like this is saying that for majority of you are going to be moving out of that energy of just constantly being stuck in your head around the situation. So for some of you, it could just be one of those things where maybe you might have a realization on how to move forward. But yeah, at the very least, looks like you're leaving that behind. And like I said, for some of you, the significance of that Scorpio full moon eclipse could be what actually caused that to come to an end for you. Alright, in the near future position, we have the 6 of Wands, Leo energy, and the King of Swords, Aquarius energy. So, could just be saying that the key for this opportunity that you might be seeking might be that you might need to travel a little bit. Now, given that this is Aquarius energy, which for you guys is a 3rd house, for a lot of you, it wouldn't necessarily mean that it would have to be a long distance, but yeah, that could be the key, where maybe the opportunity you're seeking isn't in the immediate area where you've been looking for it. What else comes to mind with this? And for some of you, could even just be saying possibly using the internet as a source as well. If we think about Aquarius energy, you could represent a lot of futuristic type of technology and whatnot. So could just be saying that that could be the key for you. Maybe you guys are gonna seek some kind of employment where you could do the job online, and then that way, distance isn't as much of an issue. You could have like a home base in one area and then be working from an entirely different area. So that could be an option some of you might be exploring. All right. In the position of your influence in a situation, we have the Hierophant. So this is Taurus energy here, and it could just be saying that in some ways that could have been where the hindrance might have been coming from, where you guys just might have been focusing more on traditional pathways to tackle your finances, So maybe you're just thinking of the traditional type of jobs, and maybe you're having some difficulty there, especially because there's been so much up and down with the economy, right? And it could just be saying that the key would be for you to expand that a little bit, to think outside the box somewhat. But at the very least, it looks like this is saying that you're seeking security as well. So that's the other key. So due to that, you might view those types of jobs as a safer bet at this time. All right. In the environment position, we have the Eight of Cups. So this is Pisces energy here. So yeah, for some of you, this could just be saying that you might actually need to move to find the opportunities that you're looking for. Because for you guys, Pisces energy is your fourth house, which represents your home, your roots. So could just be saying that, yeah, maybe if you're not finding the opportunities you're hoping for, that might be the key. And actually, Leo had similar messages to this. So if you guys have a Leo placement in your chart as well, you might want to check out that reading. Although for them, it did seem like they would have to take an opportunity at a further distance, whereas yours, I get a feel it could be more of a close distance thing for some people. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Three of Swords. So maybe this is a fear for some of you, right? Because you might have been reluctant to take on the possibility of possibly moving a great distance, because then you'd have to leave behind the friendships, right? The groups, the associations that you have where you're currently at. So that could have been where the fear was coming in for you guys. Like, okay, I've built these connections over a long period of time. So if I move away, would I lose those, right? And that's another good thing about technology being the way it is too. It's a lot easier these days to still keep in touch with someone if you do have to move away. So that's one of the positives of the way things are these days for sure. But looks like that could have been part of why you were trying to stick to the tried and true methods and not necessarily step outside the box. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Five of Swords, which is Aquarius energy again, and the Queen of Cups, Cancer energy. So yeah, this could just be saying that there might be some interference within your environment, or possibly just even some harsh communication, right? So if you do express to someone what you're going through, you might feel like there's not the level of support that you might have hoped for. That's primarily what I'm seeing with that. Could just be saying that if you do, reach out to others and say, hey, what do you think about this, right? Or see if they could point you in the right direction. I feel like you might feel like that support would be a little bit lacking. So I feel like that's saying that for the majority of you might just be keeping things to yourself for that reason. And looks like this is saying that that energy should pass by the time we get to Cancer season too. So it could just be saying, maybe right now wouldn't be the time to come out and speak with people, but if you could hold on until Cancer season, you might find the energy more supportive there, which makes sense too as far as the Mercury retrograde cycle, where now technically ends the retrograde early in June, but then it's not really going to clear its shadow until right around the same time Cancer season starts. So then you might find communication easier at that point. All right, and the bottom of the deck, we have the Hangman. So yeah, this looks like you've definitely been in an introspective mood lately, just trying to figure out what your next best step should be. And like I said, for a lot of you, it could just be one of those things where the opportunity you're seeking might not be exactly in the immediate area you've been looking, but it might not be too far outside of that, though, which is the good thing there. All right, so moving on to your Four Agreements card, we have Don't Take Anything Personally, be immune to others' opinions. Okay, it says, what others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. So, pretty positive message there too, especially because of what I was saying, where, like I said, you might feel like if you do try to come forward and speak to others, you might find like there's a bit of lack of support in your environment. So, let's say it is that you do have something a bit more outside the box, right? And maybe everyone in your environment has more of the traditional outlook. So if you were to present that idea to them, you might feel like they're going to shoot it down, right? So could just be saying if that's the case, don't let that necessarily deter you from what you feel is right for you. All right. Moving on to your Wisdom of the Oracle card, we have Blessed. There's the artwork, and the number is 22. So we'll see what this has to say. Okay, under essential meanings, it says something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected, grace that is an unforeseen gift from spirit. The Oracle's message. There are moments in life when, out of the blue, it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. You feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express. It's as if the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. You know deep down you did not deserve any of it, and yet here you are. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for all your blessings guide you now. Interesting there, especially as far as, like I said, it looks like you might have felt like there was a blockage in the energy and then possibly even feeling low energy, right? Like I said, feeling like something was just out of your reach. And then you might all of a sudden see that forward progress come for you guys. So hopefully that resonated. Okay, and the relationship message says you are moving toward a deepening of intimacy in a unique and sacred partnership. You know you are meant to make this connection. This union, blessed by the divine, will bring transformation and beauty to the world. This is also a sign that, even more important, you're being called to a deeper intimacy with yourself and spirit. With this new development, you will see evidence of grace in your life. Now, I do have to say, I didn't see much of a one-to-one relationship dynamic here, but in the part where it said, you're being called to a deeper intimacy with yourself and spirit, I could definitely see that coming through with the Hierophant energy we see in your position of your influence in a situation. So hopefully that resonated. And then worst case, the actual love readings will be done probably next week. So keep an eye out for those. And the prosperity message says unexpected windfalls and good fortune come your way now. You're in a phase where any difficulties or you are in a phase where any difficulties or obstacles that have stymied your success seem to disappear on their own. Be ready to receive. The windows of opportunity will open wide. Accept the blessings given to you now and don't forget to share them. So pretty positive message there too. And I will say Jupiter pretty much for the entire month of June will be in Aries, which is your fifth house of creativity, romance, and some luck as far as that goes too. So you might just find a little bit of luck with finances with that transit as well. All right, and lastly, we have a mudra. This is your mudra here. It's the Chonmukha Mukha mudra, and the keyword for it is cooperation. All right, so it looks like we can't fit everything into the frame here. So what I'll do is hold it up here for a second so you could pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. And then we'll move it up to get everything else in the frame. All right, but under benefits, it says calms the mind, ignites feelings of devotion, balances solar and lunar energies in the body, harmonizes Apana and Prana values, used in yoga therapy to aid cancer treatment and healing of autoimmune diseases. So interesting there where it says balances solar and lunar energies in the body, because that makes me think, of course, of the fact that there will be a full moon in your sign in June. So, of course, that'll mean it's opposite the sun in Gemini. So, keep an eye out for that energy as well. But yeah, hopefully that resonated with you guys. If you feel like this mudra would be beneficial for you guys, I'll put the name in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.